Hey folks, and welcome to War Thunder with Flying Dodo. To begin, I've recorded this video at 4K to see how the video translates to 1080 when rendered. It also illustrates the GUI issue that has been a problem with this game at 4K since, well, forever. The GUI does not scale correctly, and parts of the display actually scale differently from each other, such as the speed and altitude shown in the upper left-hand corner. You can't see it in this video, but when you are playing, the radar screen is so small it's unusable, which is another gripe I have. It's been talked a lot about on the forums, and I posted a thread in the official suggestions forum with material to show the problems over a year ago. Nothing has been addressed at any point by the dev team regarding this issue, so don't hold your breath for a fix. I'd love to play this game in 4K, which is my monitor's native resolution, but I have to play it in 1440 because of these GUI issues. So let's move on to this video. I flew out the P51D-30 today because of a thread in the official forums regarding American planes and their battle ratings. The argument is that US planes at these BRs are under-tiered. The other side of the argument is that US planes require much more discipline and skill to fly correctly. Both sides are correct, in my opinion. Flown correctly, US planes are absolutely devastating, but flown incorrectly, they're absolute junk. The skill and discipline required to fly planes like the P51Ds is hard to come by, and most people just don't have the patience for it. Planes that the P51 will face are far more forgiving and easier to fly. Most planes the P51 faces have acceleration, handling, and/or climbing characteristics that can get you out of a bad situation if you make a mistake. Make a mistake in the P51 and you're probably done for, especially flying solo. I'm not good in this plane. I haven't flown it a huge amount, and most of it was done more than a year ago when I made the transition from arcade to realistic battles. But the conversation on the forums made me want to go out and give it a try. This video really shows how well the P51 can do when the pilot doesn't get tunnel vision and plays conservatively, at least in these initial engagements. One thing to note about the P51D-30s, it is faster and more powerful than any of the other P51Ds. It has different engine settings which give it more power. Another thing to be aware of is that while it is a high altitude fighter, the engine does pecker out above 8 kilometers. You probably noticed I spent 10 minutes or so climbing to almost 8K, which wasn't necessary in this match, but better safe than sorry in my opinion. I see the bulk of the enemy planes grouped rather closely together, which may give me the opportunity to hit multiple targets in a single pass. The P51s are capable of incredibly high speeds, and you will see near 800 kilometers per hour in that dive without hitting redline. An I-185 breaks from the pack and begins to climb, so I choose him first since I don't want him above me when I start making my passes on the lower Russian planes. I'm not really sure what this guy is doing. The I-185s are capable of much tighter loops than this guy is making. It's possible he doesn't realize my speed and energy, however, and perhaps he was trying to lure me into a stall, which just isn't going to happen at these speeds. My 50 cals do their job this time, and the I-185 pretty much disintegrates. I'm running stealth, obviously, and have my convergence set to 400 meters. Looking behind me, I see a number of enemy fighters still at very low altitude, except the Yak-9 to my left, who looks like he's coming for me. I bank hard left to return to the fight, begin a shallow dive, and narrowly avoid getting hit by that Yak-9T. I continue my dive, picking up speed, and I'm waiting for one of the Russians below me to make themselves my next target. The Yak-9T is turning to follow me, but with my current energy advantage, I don't think he's going to be able to catch me. As I close on the 3 planes, a Yak-9 turns to face me, but I'm not going to fall into a turn fight trap with a Russian plane and his 2 nearby friends. I continue on and wait for one of these 2 to make themselves vulnerable. The I-185 had waited too long to make his turn to face me, so I don't think he's going to get a good firing solution on me, while making himself a reasonably good target to me. I open up at close range and his plane bursts into flame and his engine is damaged. I continue on to the next Yak-9, open up on him, and take him out too. The 50 cals are working really well this match, but as I've said in many other videos, it's a crapshoot at best. Some games I can hit the enemy many times with little to no damage, or a crazy spark fest, which of course does nothing either. I've turned around to find another target. You'll notice handling is pretty fair in this plane if you keep your speed above about 400 kilometers per hour. Stay above 400 to keep yourself competitive. I see a Yak-9 below me engaging a friendly, but with the other Yak-9 so close, I decide not to drop altitude. I head towards the incoming Yak and make slight evasive maneuvers, but apparently not enough, and he clips my left flap, causing a little bit of damage. I should have made a better effort to avoid there, and got lucky he didn't connect with a better shot. I continue to fly straight to open some distance between us, and also see 2 other fighters behind me. The Yaks, with their lightweight, reasonably powerful engines and good energy retention, are often capable of making complete 180s and catching you. The Yak-9 is too close for comfort for me, so I dive to the deck to pick up speed and let the D-30 stretch its legs a bit. As you can see, the Yak-9 is almost keeping up with me. The Russian planes do have a much lower wing break speed than most American planes, so I'm going to try to get him to pull off a little so I can open up more distance between us. I finally reached a speed that he'll have trouble matching, so I extend out to continue the separation. I move into a slight climb and the Yak-9T starts catching me again. The ability of the P-51 to reach very high speeds is usually negated by the acceleration of Russian planes once you've dropped altitude and cannot rely on diving to keep the upper hand in speed. I'm bringing him to my teammate in hopes that the Yak will either focus on me and let my teammate shoot him down, or switch targets to him and let me re-engage. They head on each other, the Yak is damaged, but the F4U is destroyed. I can't turn fight a Yak-9 at these altitudes, even with an altitude and speed advantage, so I pick up speed again to see if either of the other enemy are in a position for me to make a safe attack. I realize I put myself in a crap situation here. Both of the enemy in front are above me, so I make some quick directional changes to throw off their angles of attack, turn to see if I can get the new Yak-9 in my sight safely, can't, and continue evasive maneuvers. Luckily, the Yak-3 is taken out by AAA from the ships out in the harbor. What a crazy shot from way the hell out there, considering that they usually do nothing at all, even when we're closer to them. I'm working really hard to get away from these Yak-9s, trying to make significant enough direction changes that they can't get a beat on me without making them severe enough to slow me down too much. The chase continues on for a while, and I'm flying back towards my ships, hoping the incoming AAA will at least distract them. One of the Yaks is broken off, but I'm having trouble shaking this one behind me. Finally opening some distance, but I'm also having trouble figuring out which of the tracers flying past my plane are from the Yak and which are from my own ships trying to shoot that Yak. I continue to extend until his guns are well outside of effective range, and as soon as he turns around, I bank hard left to see if I can get back on his tail. He sees me doing that and heads in for a head-on. He hits me a couple of times, but I've taken off his right wing. Another lucky encounter there this match. It could have easily gone either way. I haven't checked, but it's possibly it was out of cannon ammo and was just shooting me with his machine gun. I'm going to end the video here because instead of doing the smart thing, returning to base and rearming, and then getting altitude to hunt the two remaining players, I followed the other Yak-9 back to his base and got shot down by AAA. Is the P51D-30 good? Yeah, it's really good. But only if you play it correctly and with a lot of discipline, something that I myself am still learning. Thanks, and have a great day.